Welcome to Command West, Commanders podcast, where we tackle the latest Washington football team news and answer the hard-hitting questions like, out of all of the mistakes on Sunday's game, which was the costliest? We'll cover that and a lot more. I am your host, Bradley Roach.
Oh, ouch. I'm Tico Wells.
I'm a little sad, and I'm Eddie Passarelli.
I'm with you, Eddie. Donnie Roach here. How you doing?
And we had a game on Sunday that we want to talk about versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Commanders fall 27-28 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was a really hard game to watch. It was the most frustrating game I've seen in a long time. And we've had some frustrating games this year. But most of them come out with wins. Right. And this one didn't. It's been a long time since a game has like ruined my weekend. But because a lot of times we lose and it's nothing new.
Right.
We lose and it's expected, but this is really proven that holy crap, the expectations are different. I care more.
Totally.
I expect this team to go out and beat the shit out of any team that we play. And by all means, we should have. I mean, I think the name of this podcast is going to be Missed Opportunities.
Yeah.
So let's hear it. What are we thinking, guys?
Hey, man, I was just looking over the scores. This was a weekend of tight games, man. We're talking the Bengals, Ravens, 34-35. We're talking the Giants and the Panthers, 2017. Games like that. There were only a few blowouts, like the Patriots just annihilated the Bears. The Bears only scored 3 points. Cowboys got blown out. Jaguars got blown out. Jets got blown out. But for the most part, this was a weekend for some reason where there was some low-scoring games and really close games. And this game against Pittsburgh, it could have gone either way. I was so hurting for Newton.
No, we're not gonna see. Okay, see, I'm gonna set up some ground rules here. I'm not gonna hear any defensive slander or no slander. And if you're gonna have to go through me, because through 59 minutes. Through 59 minutes of this game, Newton was just fine. And he should have never been in that position. I mean, the fact that it was is a testament to how shitty this game was and how poorly we played and the mistakes that we did. He should have never been in that position. A rookie making a rookie mistake.
So if we played poorly, that means Pittsburgh played poorly too.
Agreed. Pittsburgh's not a world built beater. I've heard so many things saying Pittsburgh could win the Super Bowl. Did you watch the game I watched? Because that team was not good. I mean, their offense was boring.
That front four and front. That's
on the defense.
On the defense. Their defensive front.
The defense is real.
But Bradley, what part do you not think Pittsburgh is not good at?
Their offense is so trash. It's trash.
Well, I mean,
did you see that? Did you see that bomb? The last touchdown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And any cornerback with hands and feet can defend that ball. I mean, that was like that. Like our cornerback just literally sat there and just let a guy run right past him. I mean, that's Mike Williams. Do we know who we're talking about here? It's a 4'6" guy who just got his knee replaced. That's not a fast guy. He ran past Benjamin St. Juste. But again, we're not talking about
have you ever seen
the defense got two turnovers.
Bradley, let's bring it down. Find a happy place.
I'm pissed.
Let's find a happy place.
There is no
have
happy
you ever
place
run?
in this game.
I'm not sure this is the week for that.
Do you know what a 4.6 is?
Yes, it's not fast in the NFL. Not for a receiver and not for a cornerback. Tico, guys are running 4.25s. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah, but
let's think about this.
That's rare.
That's in the combine with
on a football field.
But if
if they run a 4.2, they're not running a 4.2.
A tight end can run a 4.6. Like, let's be real with
not our tight end.
Okay,
and not our tight end.
Not our tight end. But let's just say this: St. Juste had pretty good coverage on him. That ball,
He
I don't know
was
if could have been thrown
3
any
steps
better.
behind him, Tico.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He-
but
and
where-
I will
where
defend
Russell-
St. Juice for the majority of that game because he had
Yeah.
tight coverage and he played pretty dang
Pretty
well.
good, a pretty good game.
He played
Pretty
a
good
great.
game.
He played a pretty good game. That play is unforgivable. But again, we're not talking about the defense in this game. The defense did everything that they could have to win.
Well,
this
no,
game.
they didn't. Not on that play. That play, and a lot of the 22 was gashing us some too. You know, they're running. And when 22 left, 30
22
came in,
is Najee.
is Najee Harris.
Do you mean Najee Harris 2.7 yards per game?
But
that-
it's
if that
always
is
in the
gashing-
wrong time. It's all in the wrong time. It's like, what football comes down to me is like, you look at the score. Pittsburgh only scored 7 points, but in every quarter. We outscored them in the second and the third quarter, 10-7. The problem was in the fourth quarter, we didn't score.
Yeah.
No,
But
the
we dropped
problem
balls in
was
the end zone.
that we
and
had
made stupid
7
mistakes.
dropped balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. We
Yeah.
lost this game because we have bum ass receivers at the back half of this
That's not true.
roster.
That's not
I'm
true.
talking about Olamide Zaccheaus. I'm talking about De'Ami Brown. I'm talking about Luke McCaffrey. I'm talking about Zach Ertz. Bums. And you know what? Have your set of Noah Brown drop and a
Bit
Terry
harsh,
drop
don't you
too.
think?
No, bums.
But
I'm done
also-
talking about
also-
how that we have these awesome
also-
receivers. No,
but
we have
also-
one
also-
receiver who's
also-
awesome and one that's pretty good.
I'm not I wouldn't throw Luke McCaffrey into the bum
No,
category.
I wouldn't.
He has,
I
he
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
give
say
it-
any of them are
had
bums.
No, I
enough
just
time.
think
Rookie-
you're having an
bum.
emotional
He's-
day.
he's
You're
a
having an
rookie.
emotional
He
moment.
can't
Yeah.
be a bum yet.
Hey, rookies are bums until they're not, right? Emmanuel Forbes is a bum. We know this.
Well, Emmanuel
You know
Forbes,
who's not? Jaden
I'll jump on
Daniels.
that bandwagon.
Jaden Daniels is not a bum.
James is not a bum. He's not
Hell
a
no.
James
bum.
is definitely not a
But
bum.
He hasn't
Caleb
been a
Williams
bum.
is a bum, and let's
Dresses
be real
way
here,
too
okay?
well to be a bum.
All right, so like you're a bum until you prove you're not.
Well,
Luke
yeah,
McCaffrey proved he
let's-
was a bum in this game.
but let's
He had a
talk
big
Jalen.
drop
Let's
right in his
talk
face.
All
He
had
did
big
have a big
drops.
drop.
Let's talk
Guys
Jalen
getting
too.
hit in the face. man.
Jalen, yeah, Jalen was under a
Jay
lot of
didn't.
pressure.
Jaden.
Jaden.
We played
Jaden
Jalen.
Daniels.
Next.
Jaden Daniels was under a lot of fire.
They lit him up. They lit
Yeah.
him
They
up.
were lighting him
that
up.
front
He had to
line was
get
good.
rid of the
Yeah.
ball. And I would say a good 5 balls were off target.
Agreed.
Yeah, but
Agreed,
the main
but
thing-
again-
Saw us.
the main thing that Pittsburgh's defense did well, we're all expecting this incredible, edge rush and sacks and everything from who on the left.
Mhm.
But he did what he had to do. He waited for his moments. What's his name again? Fucking
TJ.
TJ waited, and the whole
TJ and oh
he kept
God,
him
that
contained.
What?
He kept him contained. He never got out of the pocket to
Well,
run.
the whole defensive line did that. That's they stayed in their lanes. They
Yeah.
didn't let him scramble. Now, keep in mind, he's not 100% healthy yet either. So I think he's probably been coached to, try to avoid the run unless he's got something really wide open. But
Save
but
it for Philly.
they did a really good job. They stayed in their lanes and collapsed around him to still make him rush to throw balls. And I think most of the ones where he was off target, he was rushed. Usually he can still get off a good throw. He was definitely not on top of his game, but he did enough to win the game, right down to that last pass, which I hate to blame the refs and go to one play and like this is the thing that turned the game around because the refs didn't spot the ball correctly, but Zach Ertz had a fucking first down. I mean, spot the ball. Don't just put it back where you spotted it. Like spot the ball and remeasure.
They took a yard. They took a yard
from him, and they
No,
never
but
even
there's always
remeasured
going
it.
to be a play like that, and we got one on our side too when we fumbled in the end zone over there or whatever it was close.
Well,
to
they stripped it. I mean, that was they
right. But was his knee down? Was it not down? Did we get screwed there? I don't know.
I don't think so. That
but
was-
like they always say, you can't leave it up to the refs.
Yeah,
I know.
I
And
just
I'll
say
do
that
you-
fourth quarter, we did not score. For me,
yeah.
that's my
And,
take.
and I'll do you one better. I think Zach Ertz lost that game, and I don't think it was in that play. Although that's a 13-yard reception if it's any other tight end in the league, except
It
for our
should be.
bum ass, slow old guy who puts his knee on the ground.
Yeah.
But I'm not. He didn't lose the game right there. That was a point that he lost because again, Johnny Newton doesn't jump off sides. We still have him.
we may get the ball.
We're not talking. But we're not talking about Johnny Newton because Johnny Newton did fine, and he should have never been in that position.
Well, no, he didn't do fine on that last play.
Yeah, but not all plays. Not all plays.
He has to carry that, right? He has to carry it.
But wait a minute.
I agree with you, Tico. Here's the one thing I'll say.
He did play a good game.
We were talking
Love
about
the kid.
We were talking about Newton, and we're talking about St. Juice, right? With 2 massive plays. Not all plays are created equal. You can play 4.5 quarters of incredible football, and 1 play ruins the game, right? Okay, so we're on the same page. However, and again, I'm about to bring up another play where it's first and 10. Zach Ertz gets a 15-yard right in the chest, hits him in the chest, drops it. Okay. The next play. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me back it up. It's 27 to 21.
21.
We have the ball. They punted. We stopped them on defense. They punted a terrible punt. We get the ball at like the 45, the Steelers 45. We're in perfect position, right? If we score 3 more points, this game's over. Zach Ertz drops a 15-yard reception that puts us in field goal range. The next play, Jaden Daniels gets sacked. The next play, De'Ami Brown runs backwards for 12 yards, bum-ass receiver, and gets tackled. And we are now punting from our 30.
Right.
It was a 20. We went backwards 20 yards. Okay. All of that is avoided if Zach Ertz had hands and wasn't 90 years old. And this is my point. I am rah for the veteran guy teaching the young guys. I love it. Keep him in the room. Why is he still on the field? I'm sick of it.
Because he's got the experience. He's proven himself in this league, and he can still get down.
That's not enough for me. That's not enough for me.
But
you need to make plays on the field.
Last week he was good, and the week before
when he dropped the touchdown, Tico. When we barely beat the Bears because he dropped the touchdown.
But are you saying Ben Sinnott or Bates is better than Zach Ertz?
All I'm saying is when Bates gets the ball, he runs dudes over. And when I haven't seen Sinnott drop a pass. Now they're not getting the opportunity. They're not getting the opportunity.
One pass.
We do need to run after catch tight end.
Let's get them the opportunity because I guarantee it, maybe not guarantee. If that is anybody else on that 4th down, any of our other tight ends, they are fighting tooth and nail to not even make that close.
Okay, I will give you this.
Because you fight for those yards. It's 4th and 9.
Yeah, I think
fight for those.
I think Zach underestimated his yardage on that route. I like to see a player go further than they need to and then turn around.
And that's what I'm saying, Tico. And the fight is the thing that hurts is he went down. He went
let's
ground.
Let's slow down for a minute.
No fight.
This is a 7-2 team, and we haven't seen this since forever. So I think we got to pull back. You know, they're coming off the Hail Mary game. They had a tough Giants game to play. Then they have a tough Pittsburgh Steelers game. Now they got 4 days to get ready, less than 4 days because they got to heal up one day to get ready for the Eagles. This is a stretch, and we haven't been such a great team that we can take anybody for granted. So I think that this is one of those games where, like the Baltimore game, without a couple of mistakes, we win them. And that might not come until next year, might not come till the end of the year where we can win these close games like this with solid teams. Definitely Pittsburgh is a way step up from the Giants.
Big time.
But the Giants were tough.
Yeah.
The Giants are not tough, though. They were tough, but they're not. And that's the problem is we are not.
The Giants have always played us tough.
We are not playing winning.
They gassed us in the run game.
They just lost to Carolina.
Run defense is still.
Let's be real with what is.
Yeah, but they're not winning. They're not winning games. But from a football standpoint, when you play a team like the Giants, they're scrappy. They're tough. They're hard hitting. They've always they carry that with them. And they've always had that as
it's always
as
an organization. Any one of these games we got now coming up, we got 4 divisional games coming up, right? We got Dallas,
2 Philly, 2 Dallas.
2 Dallas and 2 Philly, right? I mean, we're done with the Giants.
Yep.
We
Done with the
sweep
Giants.
them. I think the thing is right now, it's as simple as one game at a time, minimize the mistakes, the fucking penalties. There's no way Johnny Newton should have ever jumped offside at all. Every one of them should have let them take the first down attempt. Jump when ready, but don't move because they're going to try to draw. They knew they were going to try to draw him off. I don't understand.
We should have never been in that position. I'll say it over and over.
That's
and
true.
over.
That's true.
Not,
that's true. That's true. But
it,
football is a game of unexpected events, and it's the team that can keep their cool.
But
I'm not.
Look, Olamide Zaccheaus dropping a punt is an unexpected event. You getting a ball right here 6 times is not an unexpected event. That is sloppy mistakes because we don't have the dogs yet. And look, mediocre players make great plays. You know what they also do? They make bad plays. And we saw a lot of bad plays in this game.
Okay.
Because we have mediocre bum. I use the word bum. And you know,
a few times.
It's an emotion. Like Tico said, it's an emotional word. But what it really means is they're not dogs, right? George Pickens, Terry McLaurin, those are dogs. And we saw them fight in this game.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Chin is a dog. Olamide Zaccheaus, not a dog. He
not
makes
a dog.
plays,
Okay.
But he also makes a lot of mistakes.
He's a puppy. Give him
Zach Ertz was a dog. He had a bark. His bark is a little hoarse right now because you know what? He's got some gray hairs, man, and he's moving slow. He got
gray around the muzzle.
He got a hip replacement. You know, like this man is moving slow, and he's not got the fight in him as much.
All right. Let me to respond to Tico. Let me ground it a little bit because there's a couple of things here. You know, it's easy to say, damn, we should have won that game. We should be 8-2. Okay, maybe, but also we pulled a rabbit out of a hat a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, occasionally the bounce goes our way and sometimes it doesn't. And this week it didn't. Here's the thing that I think we can take away from this game. If we go back to before we ever played our first game, when we started this podcast, this season's podcast, what did we say we wanted out of this season? Growth. We just want to see some growth from this team. We had no idea we were going to be 7-2 or even 7-3. We wanted to see growth. And this game, if you trust in this coaching staff, which I still do, this is a game to grow from. This team will grow from this game. You have to go through the hard knocks. Adversity brings on change, brings on growth. And that's what we're looking for is growth. And this adversity, this team could use a little adversity right now. So to grow from. Last year's team, adversity after adversity, they didn't grow. They just
lost
went on
13 games last year.
But this year, I have faith that they grow from something like this. They need this to kind of slap them in the face. I think they're going to go into Philly hungry, and I like our odds. And Philly, I'm also concerned because Philly's getting healthy and we're banged up. But I think they're going to take what happened last week and they're going to use that as fuel to fuel their strength, their passion, their desire, their hunger in Thursday night's game. And that's what I really want to see. So. You know, let's use it as a growth game.
And like you guys said, we didn't have B-Rob. You guys were saying that's going to be a big deficit.
Yeah.
Well, do we know if he's playing?
We
practicing.
think he might
still
be.
questionable.
He's
still questionable.
Today, he's still questionable.
No, I you know, Dad, I'm glad you brought that up because as angry as I was, and as I still am, because again, like this was a brutal game to watch because it's like we make a couple plays, man, and it's 40-28. You know, it's 40-21. Like, you know, our defense shoring up just a little bit, and oh my gosh, like just shout out the defense real quick because going from the beginning of the season to now, we talk about growth. Some of the biggest growth we see in this season is from the defense. I mean, they are pressuring quarterbacks. Russell Wilson was pressured in this game. He did not have much time. And the run defense. I mean, it felt bad. It felt worse than it was, but 3.7 yards per rush and the longest was 12 is not as bad as it seemed. Like there are a lot of improvements, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, no, there are.
And there's a lot of great things that we can take from this game. It was Jaden Daniels' worst game of the season from a statistics standpoint. But holy shit, was he making throws and making plays and his most dynamic part of his game, or one of, was taken away completely.
Yeah.
He was not able to scramble at all, and he still made play after play after play. There's a lot of positives.
He's playing like a veteran from the mindset of a great quarterback, like almost like to the point of Aaron Rodgers type of thinking. You know, like it just seems like he knows the game.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that, you know, that can carry on. We have not seen him have a really bad day yet.
No.
We have not seen him get crushed in, 7 sacks. I mean, look what happened to Russell Wilson. Didn't he get sacked like
both quarterbacks got sacked 3 times.
Yeah.
It was 6 sacks in this. This was an evenly matched game.
It was really evenly matched.
If we look at teams, Baltimore was a little bit better than us. Maybe a couple notches better than us. But we hung with Baltimore. I think the first game, we're not there anymore.
Yeah,
if we played them again, we'd be on their level.
I would love to play them again. Yeah.
This game right here, these are 2 evenly matched games. Okay.
Yeah.
This is 2
big time.
This was 2 evenly matched.
If we played
teams.
10 times, each of them come out 5 losses.
We lost by 1 point. We lost by 1 point. And if we had even scored anything in that fourth quarter, anything, like you said, Bradley, field goal, whatever. Yeah. But let's talk about this.
That's why it's so frustrating.
This is a part I'm going to get a little woo on you guys.
Let's hear it.
Football is a game of momentum and energy.
Yeah.
And we had a case of the dropsies. We had a case of
it's like a cold.
Jaden's a little bit off. He's leading the guys a little bit.
He was throwing it far. Way too fast for some of those.
And some of them he was
zillied and not zillied.
He wasn't throwing that catchable ball.
Say
it again, Eddie.
I just don't like it when you need to throw the appropriate speed for the play. And I know a lot of it had to get rid of it fast, and so it had to be zillied. But those things were coming in so fast that I felt sorry for the receivers. Like, Jesus Christ, can I just have a nice pass?
I can't take a receiver excuse to say that ball was too fast. Like that, a receiver in the National Football League, you got to catch what's coming your way. If it's on target,
if it
can't be
it's
too fast.
You're getting paid millions of dollars to catch it fast.
Have you ever heard a professional receiver complain that ball was thrown too fast and that's why I didn't catch it?
No, but how many times did we see?
Brett
Favre's not a receiver.
Brett Favre's receivers always complained that their hands got broken, fingers got broken, because Brett Favre used to zip that ball in, and it was. And
he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Well, but he didn't get but 1 Super Bowl ring, right? That's just true. Like, you know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers has a tendency to throw a very nice ball.
I'm just saying,
and Walsh from the 49ers. We'll check. Remember Walsh from the 49ers, the 49ers coach, the great Bill Walsh?
Yeah.
He came up with the term throw a catchable ball. You want to throw the ball in stride with the receiver so he doesn't have to break his stride. That's a catchable ball.
With his accuracy. The accuracy is there. He's always
that's what I'm saying. In this game, he had about 4, 5, maybe 5 balls that were not good balls. And we hadn't seen him. This was the only game he was being rushed. Yeah. So it was a lot of little things that a good team is going to do to you. Yeah. And this, like Donnie said, was a test. Yeah. And they did pretty good. I mean, only lost by 1.
No, they did.
And it was because of our mistakes. It was costly mistakes. Of that muff fumble by Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
That was a costly mistake.
Big. I say if we played 10 times, we'd both win 5 times. I believe that. I say give us 5 more games and we're winning 7 out of the 10, because I think that, we clean up, some of these mistakes and we're better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I truly believe that, because, we left, 6 drops out on the field, 5 missed throws. You put those together, that's 11 plays that are catches, for 15 yards. That's the difference between 2 touchdowns, 2 to 3 touchdowns, right? Like, I mean, there was a play while Jaden Daniels is in our end zone. It's after the ball drop. I said I didn't want to talk. I said I didn't want to talk about Jaden Daniels in a negative light, but I will bring up this one play. And Luke McCaffrey is wide open, and Jaden misses him. And that that might be a touchdown. I mean, it could go for like 60 yards, but that might be a touchdown because he's so open on that play. And again, it's like Luke drops one, Jaden misses one.
Yeah.
It's just it's the game. Jaden said after the game, it's the little things. It's a couple of plays.
It really, this game came down to, and like we said, look, Russell Wilson was 14 out of 28 for 195, take away the 23 for the sacks. He rounds it out to 172-yard day. Jaden is 17 for 34, 182.
Not great.
After 20 yards worth of sacks.
Yeah.
Because they minus your yardage from the
that's
from
crazy.
The
that's college stats. Like,
yeah, neither one of them had great days.
And it was one of those days, and each game to me has its own spirit, its own vibration to it. This game was a tough game that could have gone either way. So what else do we have on store, Bradley? We got
do we want to move on? Or
commanding attention.
We want to move on. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
I got much. Here's the last thing I want to say. I love watching Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. I mean, like my favorite player is Terry McLaurin, and it's so much fun to watch him have fun on the field, and just like
catching. I like all the taunting that he's doing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
He's doing a lot of talking. He's doing a lot of talking.
Yeah.
But whenever Terry goes over 100, that's a good day.
It's a great day.
Terry had 113.
Yeah.
George Pickens had 91. Both of them had great days. George Pickens is a beast.
He's a
George
beast.
Pickens he's a beast.
That first catch in the end zone.
Oh my God.
Igbenogany, Noah Igbenogany is in perfect position
he for him to misplay that. Yeah.
Like it was because he's going to catch the back shoulder, right? Like this.
Yeah.
And George Pickens goes up like this, midair, adjusts, and catches it like that. That's like acrobatics. Like
you can't defend that.
There's like 3 players in the league that can do that. And
but how did I mean? It looked like Russell Wilson threw the pass a little too far to the left.
Yeah.
And he contorted his body.
That's what
got that thing like
guys
a fish.
Can do that just the mere mortals can't.
Yeah.
And
that's
he's a freak athlete.
You said it right, Bradley. He was in a perfect position to defend that thing, and it's like you can't.
You throw your hands up at that point and you go, wow, what an incredible catch.
Great catch.
And great players make great plays, right? So
we
had a couple of those.
We lost the run game.
Yeah.
They had 140. We had only 60 yards.
Well, okay. All right. Here's the last thing I want to say about this game. And it's about coaching, because I'm not going to say that we lost because of coaching, and I'm not going to say that we got out-coached, but our coaching staff has a vibe and a mentality. And I don't want to say it's singular right now, but it's very narrow because it's the first year. We have a set amount of plays. We're not the Andy Reid and the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes in a system for 5 years, and they're getting creative, throwing behind the back passes, whatever. This is the first year, and defensively as well. And what I think Mike Tomlin did just absolutely beautifully is he made us play their game. And it was still really close, right? There's a lot of positives that we can take from this game, because damn, we really played on their terms, and we still lost by 1 point. But they took away the run game. They took away Jaden's legs. They took away the RPO. Yeah. I mean, they instead of running TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith at the running back and kind of like containing, they just ran at Jaden Daniels and said, Austin Eckler, beat us up the middle. And he can't, because that's not what Austin Eckler is best at.
He needs a little open space to figure out his line.
And that's brilliant. And nobody else has been able to do that this season.
Well, that's why I said that Tomlin beat us. Tomlin is the one who beat us. I hate to say it. It's the experience of coaching that came down to slightly. I'm sorry. I agree with you guys. I think they're slightly inferior to some of us, but the experience level from the coaching staff and how they know how to do something, and brilliantly they threw in Russell Wilson. Last 3 games, the guy's throwing like he's in the Super Bowl again.
Right.
So, and we didn't let him go off. We didn't let him go off, but he's been in these games. He's a 2-time Super Bowl appearance guy. Super Bowl win. Didn't he win the MVP of the Super Bowl? I think
Probably that
that
year,
first
yeah.
one when they killed Denver. You know, Russell's one of my favorite players, and his time in Denver was not indicative. And I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. That ball he threw to Mike Williams, I mean, it was perfect placement. Even if St. Jude's was even closer, he couldn't have done anything because it was
Mike
over
Williams
the top.
doesn't scare me. The jump ball is where he thrives. Running past somebody is not Mike Williams' games, and that's why I was so upset by that play. But I agree with you. That was a perfectly placed ball, and he had an even better one, maybe top 5 of the whole year to George Pickens on the sideline. That ball was less than a half a yard inside the field of play, you know, in bounds. Like, and that's a beautiful catch where he got his feet down. But I mean, that throw was incredible. That was, I think, that his throw of the game. That was insane.
We're gonna move. I think.
Yeah, let's move.
What I heard today is that this is a game they know what they did wrong.
Yeah,
they don't have to beat up on Newton. They don't have to beat up on Zacchaeus. They don't have to beat up on the defensive line or anybody. They got to get ready for Philly. They got to immediately put that in the past and get ready for Philly, because Philly's going to be a handful.
That's not what this team does. They don't, you know, like they bring each other up.
They bring each other
brotherhood
up.
in that
It's a brotherhood, and they you saw everybody touching Newton's helmet. Like, dude, we all you didn't lose this game for us. We all chipped in.
Didn't they say you're dead? You're getting a wedgie in the shower.
So
what's trending? What's commanding attention?
We don't have much today. Just that Philly did win their game against Dallas decisively. They kicked their ass for the most part. All right, gentlemen, we have a massive game. Talk about in 2 days. We play on Thursday night against Philadelphia Eagles, who just won their game, and we just lost, putting them a half game ahead of us. This is for first place. And what Tico was saying about all the parity in the league, winning the division is important this year more than ever, because if you don't win the division, you could not go to the playoffs, because the wild card race is going to be so tight. It's going to be really tight. So winning the division is so important this year, especially.
Yeah, we went from the number 2 slot to the number 6 slot by losing that game. So, even if we make the playoffs and we don't win the division, we also don't get a home game. If the season ended now, we go to Atlanta. That wouldn't be any fun, so that would be a tough.
Is it ever fun to go to Atlanta?
Gamble.
I think we're in a really
because
good
we have
position.
we got a 2-team race in our division right now. And
we play them in 2 days.
And let's just say this: how exciting is it? How exciting is it to be mid-November and fighting for first place against the Philadelphia Eagles? We love it.
Let's
give ourselves a hand.
Give it up.
Let's just remember too that we're in a place that we haven't been in a while, and look, we don't want to get overly confident about anything, but we're in a position to create our own destiny. We can go in. The idea is to try to go into Philly with that house and that crowd and that disgusting fan base and really try to shove it down their throats and show them that we're not fucking around for the division title. And I think also, let's not take for granted that, what's his name? Cooper Rush? No, what's his name?
That's
Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah, that's Dallas.
That guy can throw the ball. He knows how to play football. We can't just go and think, we're going to definitely smoke right through Dallas. All right,
It's true. Yeah.
I just think that we do any of these divisional games. If we win all the division games, we're going to win the division.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Right now, we're what?
We're 2-0.
We're 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah, and we've got a 3-game stretch where we get Philly, Dallas, and Tennessee. Tennessee, if any game we should smoke, that should be another one like the Panthers.
What is their record, though? I thought they're not. They're not.
They're
good?
not that good.
Okay.
No.
They got a
And
couple wins.
Dallas, we should annihilate Dallas.
We should.
Philly is our competition.
Yeah.
So if we come out of these next games at least 2-1, we're going to be doing all right. But I think if we can get over Philly, that's going to give us the confidence to
huge.
go in and
It's huge.
crush
And
Dallas, crush the Titans, and then we get a bye week.
Well, here's
Philly's
the other
already
thing,
had their
Tico.
bye week.
Yeah, we have a late bye, and you can kind of start to feel it at this part of the season.
Yeah.
We have some injuries. We don't have any terror. I mean, Jonathan Allen was the big loss of the season.
Yeah.
But besides him, knock on wood, everything has been kind of minor. And we have a game on Thursday night, which is a tough ask for a football team. But then you have 10 days before Dallas.
Yeah.
You got
Some
10
get healthy.
We
days.
need that.
You call that a pseudo
That's a
bye.
good, yeah. That's a good.
And so if when we get over Philly, when we get over them, because whatever happens on Thursday, we're gonna move on.
That's Thanksgiving, right?
no.
No.
No, that's a
Thanksgiving's
Tuesday.
in
What
2
is that?
weeks.
That's a
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's
Yeah.
going to be ruined because I
November.
think
Dallas always plays on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I think they're playing
Right. But that's a Thursday. That
Who are they
we
playing,
play them
Giants?
on a Sunday.
Oh, we
then they'll
play them
the
on a
following,
Sunday,
yeah.
the 20.
We play the Sunday
So that's
before
the-
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Okay, so
So let me go back to what I was saying.
Thanksgiving's the 28th. Okay.
We're gonna get past Philly. We're gonna get 10 days, and then we get we have 2 games and then a bye. So we're gonna get healthy here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that the good part of having a week 14 bye, there's not a lot of good things about it. The players hate it, but what is good about it is you get healthy before the end of the season.
Mhm.
Where Philly had theirs in like week 5, they've already had theirs. So that's what we're looking at.
And then we come back and go to New Orleans. It'll be nice and warm down there. Then we come back to Philly after New Orleans. Then we
Right.
got the Falcons and the
But
Cowboys.
let's focus just on the game ahead
on
of us.
Philly. Let's focus.
Okay.
We
Focus on Philly.
We went way out there, but
I know
we're
we
looking
got
at
to
the season.
focus on this team
Yeah.
because this team.
And the good thing is we don't have to play.
we don't have to play. I think I would die.
It
if I had to
feels
play
like
this
it.
game. But
It feels like it.
this team is better than Pittsburgh. This team is better
Yes.
than Pittsburgh. They may be like if you individually take the personnel, talent wise, this team is better than Baltimore. Just talent.
Which
by
team?
talent.
Which team?
Philly.
Philadelphia.
I have to agree.
I'd say they're comp. No, because I can't. Well, Saquon, Derrick
Yeah.
Henry. Derrick
Yeah.
Henry is leading the league right now with
Yep.
over 1,000 yards.
It's a
Got
little
about
bit.
1,100.
But then look at the receivers. You got Zach,
And yeah,
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
they're close.
Smith.
They got a lot of talent.
I'm gonna say
Zay Flowers is a beast, and
It's
so
my
is
opinion.
AJ Brown, and Philly's got what's his
Devontae
name?
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah. This is a talented football team.
Yeah.
Their
No
O-line
question.
is incredible. They have a defense that isn't world beaters, but by all means are gonna play fast and aggressive. They have good corners, Darius Slay. They have a good safety in Bradbury.
Mhm.
They have good linebackers, Nakobe Dean, and they have a talented defensive line with I'm forgetting the young guy right in the middle. He's a monster. What's his name? But then they have Sweat on the edge. They've got some good talented players on this team, and they're on a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah.
At home.
But,
They're on a 5-game winning streak.
They're on a 5-game winning streak, and
You
they're at
mentioned they
home.
have Saquon.
Yep.
But look at who they played:
That's what I was about to say,
Browns.
Tico.
the Giants, the Bengals, the Jaguars, and the Cowboys. They were supposed to. They were supposed to beat
ass
those.
teams. They haven't seen a team like us in a long time.
They're
since
going to
Green
get to
Bay.
see. They're going to get to see the Ravens. They're going to get to
Yeah.
see the Steelers.
That's right. Mm.
Okay. They're
We've
going to
been
see
playing.
the Cowboys twice.
We've been playing hard-nosed football, and the Philly has been cakewalking through bad teams. And you know what? Cakewalking is an understatement.
Yeah.
Because they almost lost to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's booty cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they haven't like annihilated these bad teams. You know,
They beat the shit out of Dallas.
well, Dallas they did.
They
Yeah.
crushed
Cleveland
the Giants
and the
28-3.
Look,
They
have enough
beat
weapons to
these
crush
some teams,
anybody.
but
They have enough weapons to crush anybody, and
Yeah.
they're going to play. They're going to play right up to our level. Don't be thinking that just because they beat pussy teams that they can't play in a fight with the big boys. They can.
Definitely.
And we're going
to
be one of their tests.
We have
to
be
one of their tests.
Big
and
time.
they also lost to Tampa Bay just like we did.
Yeah.
This
is a great team.
Very simple.
Yeah. Okay, Eddie, you want to get into it? That's a big part of this game here.
I think the dual threat is almost the best dual threat, almost better than the Ravens dual threat.
Yeah, it's up there.
I only say that because I think the arm of Jalen Hurts can hurt us if we're not careful because of our weaknesses in the secondary. I'm hoping Lattimore is going to play. I don't think he is. If we don't have B-Rob, we may have to start thinking about getting up on the score early. Like, in other words, we have to think no mercy, score every single time we get down the field.
Yeah.
Because they're going to do the same to us. We're going to have to go blow for blow. This is going to be a 50+ over game. Or for some reason, it's going to come down to turnovers, which usually comes down to that because you have good players on both sides making plays. And we just have to be on the good side of these things. We can't drop, punts that hit you in the face twice.
Yeah. I hope he's going to get
I think you'll get it the third time.
He's looking up.
He's going to tie his hands behind his back.
He's not stepping back. He needs to step back and let the ball fall in his hands. He's somehow putting his face out there.
See how much hang time that
he did it twice.
The guy was
exact same thing.
That was a moon punt. We were surrounded by fucking shirts, and they were just right on him, white shirts, looking like, okay, go ahead, catch it. I mean, the guy should have just let it drop. It was on the.
We're talking about the Eagles.
We're done with the last game. Let's.
I said I wasn't gonna pick another loss this season because I think we can beat every team, and I really do. But we're gonna lose this game if we played like we did last week.
Yeah.
And I think that I'll start the commandments out because I usually like to get nice and philosophical. I like to be specific. I like to talk about specific players and what needs to happen. It's real simple this week. We need to make less mistakes than they do because they're a more talented team than we are. We need to play smart, clean football. Everybody's going to make a mistake. Every team, every week there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be missed passes. There's going to be a drop ball. There's going to be a fumble or a turnover. We need to have less than they do because like Eddie said, this team has too much talent to be beating ourselves. We can beat this team, but we can't beat ourselves. So thou shalt not beat ourselves. I'll be very quick and very simple.
Very good.
And I was going to say thou shalt score 35 to 40 points.
Okay.
And hold them to 20 or less.
Yep.
Great.
I got mine.
So,
mine
go
is
ahead,
thou shalt decelerate the Saquon Hurts running game.
Great.
I know we can't stop them, but we have to decelerate it.
I love it, Eddie. Realistic.
Once again, I'm on Eddie's coattails. Because mine's about the rush too. Well, here's the deal. I think B-Rob is going to be back, and we need to find our running game. And we need to stop their running game. We need to do what we can. We just need to, thou shalt outrush the Eagles. I want us to get more rushing yards than they do because we need to do our best to shut them down, and we won't shut them down completely. But if we can get even more, find our running game back, stop them a little bit, let's outrush them. That'll be. I think that's
takes
key.
up more clock too, and the more time we have the ball and they don't, the better.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Saquon and his artillery is going to hurt us if they have the ball for too long.
Yeah,
I see Jaden playing really well in this game. I can see Jaden having himself a day to this game. It's his first time playing a division rival. of this caliber. I mean, we played the Giants, but of this caliber, and and he's coming off, statistically his worst game of the season. This is a competitor. This kid is a fighter, and I don't think he comes out and lays an egg. He's not like these other rookies who are, having a bad game and letting it get to them and letting it destroy their mental. This kid is a hard worker. Sorry if anybody heard that loud bang. I don't know what the heck.
No, we didn't.
Everything okay up there in Oregon?
We'll see. But Jaden Daniels is going to come and he's going to fight tooth and nail to win this game. And I think he's going to have a big game. I'm predicting, a close to 300 yards, if not over, and a couple touchdowns running or passing.
I think he's pissed.
Well. It's good to hear you. I agree with you. And Jaden Daniels, remember, he's the leader, right? They follow his lead. I want that whole team to feel that fire in their belly from losing a game that they all feel like they should have won. And so come at this game. I said at the beginning of the show, come at this game with the fire in the belly, like you got something to prove. And learn from your mistakes. And
I gave Zach Ertz a lot of grief today, a lot, and I stand by every word I said. But Zach Ertz, this is a revenge game.
Sure,
this is a big revenge game.
His old team,
and this is his chance to step up and atone for the mistakes he made in losing us that last game. So I want to see a game from Zach Ertz too. He's not coming up the field, but
can Zach Ertz actually catch a ball and run an extra yard ever?
Yards after catch.
To calcify.
I want to see a touchdown.
That's never been his thing. And if you think about it, that's rarely any tight end's thing. Even Travis Kelce may get 5 or 6 yards. Gronk probably got the most out of an extra
Kittle.
Kittle's one of the better.
Brock Bowers.
Kittle's one of the better ones.
I mean, we see it week in, week out. You look at those tight ends that catch the ball, and it's almost like you don't want to be the guy in front of him having to make that tackle because they're coming at you with all that weight. But
traditionally,
I could
tight ends have not been run after the catch. That they're not the run after the catch guys. There's a few that Kittle's a little bit smaller. He's a little bit smaller. He's a little bit faster.
More agile.
He's a little bit.
He's trying to get an extra yard for us.
B-Rob, I think that is a huge. B-Rob is a big, huge player.
Would be a big asset.
I got another 2 players to highlight because I didn't highlight them in the recap, but I want to highlight them in this game. Our 2 safeties are starting to really play very well in Jeremy Chin and Quan Martin, who both had a turnover in the last game. And I'm really, really liking what I'm seeing from those 2 gentlemen. And we're going to need them against their big physical receivers and their big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And in the running game against Saquon, those safeties really, they're the hard hitters. They're the safety blanket, like those guys. And they're starting to play really, really well. So,
another one is starting to play really well that we can use on the defense. I'd like to shout out to Dante Fowler.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he is getting the pressure on, and we can really use that. Again, they got to pressure him smartly because you don't want him to escape, and he's slippery, that one. But I'd like to see Dante Fowler get himself another sack or 2.
So we're gonna have our work cut out for us.
Tico, how many sacks did you say was a good sack total for the end of the year at the beginning of the season
for a D lineman? I would say really 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Okay, that I would say that's a good. What's like an all-star, like a really good sack total? 10. Dante Fowler Jr. is at 8.5. You guys, he's a star.
Yeah,
I mean, he's at 8.5, and we're 10 games in.
Yeah,
he's a good player for us. I'm excited.
He had 2 sacks. He had 2 sacks in that game.
Yeah.
8.5.
And Frankie Louvu had 1.
And Frankie had 1. And he's been balling too.
All
right. Well, why don't we get out of here, gentlemen?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a wrap.
My last week's commandment was get a pick.
Oh, we got it.
I was looking for 2, but Chin got a pick and a fumble recovery.
Yeah.
Chin had a hell of a game. He had 13
did.
tackles.
He played
He
great.
had 13
Great.
tackles.
And he had a hell of a game against the Giants, and he had a hell of a game against the Bears. He's quietly
good.
becoming really,
good.
really. And I just want to shout myself out. He was one of my players that I said keep an eye on this season because I think he's
you were.
And he took a while to kind of get grooving, but these last 3 games or so.
I was a little worried, but
all right. So let's get our picks real quick, okay?
Let's do it.
I'm sticking with the Commanders.
Okay.
Gotta have the
maybe we all are at this point from here on out. You
mean,
said it a couple of weeks ago, Tico. I'm picking the Commanders.
I mean, how are we going to do it now? We have the faith. We believe.
Yeah,
we believe.
The expectation is changed, right? Last year,
is.
we didn't think we were going to beat the Eagles. At the beginning of the season, I was like, "Ooh, this is a really good team." You know, the Eagles, we might get swept by them, but at this point in the season, like I said earlier in this podcast, the Eagles are a really good team. If we play like we did last week, we're not going to win this game. But why I think we're going to win this game is that this team is fighting, right? I talked about Jayden Daniels, but it's a full team mentality. They're fighters. It's a brotherhood. They don't let these tough losses get to them and erode at what has been an amazing season. They rise above, they grow from those mistakes, and they learn from them. And I see this game being one of our best that we've played this whole season because of look at what happened in the Ravens game. And then we went and we played Carolina and we dropped a nuclear bomb on that team. We had this tough loss. That's what I see coming for the Philadelphia Eagles. Be careful being in that stadium, y'all.
Yeah,
there's
man.
gonna be some bomb drops.
Right.
And,
right
and that's where we'll call it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. That's a wrap on this episode of Command West. We hope you had just as much fun listening as we did, bringing you the latest and the greatest of the burgundy and gold. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and comment. You're our fifth commandment. Put your comments below and tell us what do we need to do to beat the Philadelphia Eagle on Thursday night, November 14th at 8:30 p.m. Tune in next week. Peace.
See ya.
Yeah, guys.